Hi everyone, it's Coach Fred here, and today I'm going to be going over the three equivalent forms of a linear function. A linear function is a function whose graph is a line, and it could be a positive line, so a positive sloped line, a negative sloped line, or a horizontal line. And a linear function also is a function whose highest degree of x is 1. Now there is one case where it's 0, and that's this guy right here. But we're going to always look at the highest exponent of x. If the variable of the exponent of x is 1, then it is a linear function. But there are three equivalent forms, okay? Now, I have spent some time in previous videos talking about the word equals, and I want to remind you that equals means is the same as. Is the same as. And when we use equals, I want us to understand that we can look at different forms of functions, but they're just written differently. They're still equals or equivalent. So let's look at the first one. It's probably the one you're most comfortable with, but I want us to be comfortable with all of them. Slope-intercept form. Okay, so sloped-intercept form is going to be in the form y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to give you an example. Y equals 2x minus 7. So in this form, you can see the highest exponent. The exponent of x is a 1, so that tells me it's a linear function. This one provides me with the slope, or the average, the constant rate of change. So the slope of 2 and a y-intercept of 0, negative 7. So that's slope-intercept form. Can I graph this? Absolutely. I can plot the y-intercept and then I can easily use the slope to find other points on the graph. But we also have standard form. Standard form of a linear function, which is in the form ax plus by equals c. So that might look like this. 2x plus 6y equals 12. Well, lots of students try and put this form into slope-intercept form, but this form is actually a nice form to use as well. Its graph is a line, its highest exponent, the degree is 1, of x is 1, and so I can actually tell the slope and both the x and the y-intercepts from this equation. I don't have to move it into slope-intercept form unless I want to. All right, well, if I want to find the x and the y-intercepts, we know that x and y-intercepts occur when there is a variable of 0. So when x is 0, when the input is 0, then the y in this case would be 2. Because if I plug in 0, I get 2 times 0, which is 0, so I would be left with 6y equals 12, so then y would be 2. So I now see a point directly on this line. I also could let y be 0. That would give me the x-intercept. If y is 0, then x is going to be 6. And so I can clearly see on standard form, with standard form, I can clearly see 2 points on the line, so I could draw a line. The third equivalent form, and this is the one that I use most when I'm writing equations of lines, is point-slope form. Point-slope form. This is when you have a point and a slope, but not the y-intercept. And that form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, okay? All right, so it might look as y minus 2 equals 3x minus 5, okay? Now, the slope is still 3, and the point on the line would be 5, 2. Now, that's nice because we don't often have the y-intercept. We just have a general point on the line. And so I can use point-slope form anytime I want to write an equation of a line very quickly and I have a point and I have a slope. Okay, now these are the three equivalent forms of a linear function. And you're going to get to decide which one you're going to need in different cases. So it's really good to have a working knowledge of all three of them. Again, slope-intercept form, standard form, and point-slope form. Now, in the next video, you're going to be learning about the linear function whose highest exponent is 0. That works out to be a horizontal line. And that is a very special line that we're going to need to feel comfortable with. And then also you might be thinking, well, Coach Fred, why aren't you talking about a vertical line? Well, a vertical line is actually not a function. It is a line, but it is not a function. And that is something you're going to learn more about this year. So have a great day. Hopefully that was a helpful video.